the 17th century, an inspiring host gathered people together, the purpose to increase their knowledge through conversation. These gatherings were called salons. Guests would debate a topic for the evening, mostly books, then eat and drink tea. Welcome, Prof.
Thank
good
you,
afternoon.
VC, for having me.
Prof. Refilwe is currently serving as Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation at the great University of Johannesburg. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, she brings a wealth of experience. Prof, you are now in this role for 2 months and 28 days.
Yes, VC.
But Prof. Refilwe is not a newcomer to this role. She has previously served as Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research at another university. And then she joined the great University of Johannesburg, where she directed one of the most powerful research centers in the country called PACER. Please Google it. They are doing amazing work in the area of public health and public health and epidemiology.
Yes.
Hey. When I say this, I feel like I've got a big tongue, you know. I don't. I see one of you looking just to double check. But you know, you have those tongue twisters for others. And of course, you know, you can't do this job without all these amazing qualifications. She studied locally. She also studied abroad. I mean, I was touched when I saw one of your pictures with your dad when you graduated in the UK.
Yeah.
Just wonderful, you know. I mean, just amazing. You know, and she's not just an academic, you know, she's a researcher of note, a researcher that has received numerous accolades. I mean, when I say numerous, I mean it, ladies and gentlemen. Too many to mention. You know, the highest of them all is to be, you know, the Queen Mother of Research and Development in Ghana. But there are a number of awards by the Department of Science and Technology, the NRF, you name it. Prof, we're really proud of you. And I couldn't have thought of a better guest than Professor Refilwe Phaswana-Mafuya. This month, you know, we're celebrating Women's Month, International Women's Month. We had our International Women's Day on the 8th of March, but we celebrate women every day here at the great University of Johannesburg. So, Prof, thanks for joining us. We'll be discussing 2 books, you know, by Prof. One is Research Mentorship, a developmental and transformational tool in shaping and sustaining African women's career progression in academia. And the second one is Navigating Academia, Women's Stories of Success and Struggle, a Call for Action. Of course, the other book has got chapters, you know, by contributors. Many of the contributors have joined us in person and also online. I'm not leaving you out, but today I just want to hear from Prof what really guided her, what spirit guided her to really bring these amazing women to share their journey, and we'll see how this can inspire other people. I mean, these are 2 books, you know, voluminous books, so we're not going to go through them page by page, line by line. It's going to be at a high level. The books are available for sale. You know, they were published by the great University of Johannesburg Press, and Mr. Vickers van Zyl is right there at the back for those who would like to sign, and I'm sure Prof will be able to sign, to autograph the books, you know. I think that is special. Something that I would like to share is that these books are also available free of charge as e-books from the UJ Press, ladies and gentlemen. Another important point, I mean, it's just incredible. These books, both of them came out in 2023.
Yes.
It says a lot about Prof that she's a productive lady. Now that said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to engage with Prof and then open this up for you to ask whatever burning question or questions that you may have. You know, our time is limited. We've got just 1 hour. If I may start by asking you this question before we talk about all the sacrifices. What really encouraged you to produce these two books, I mean, in the same year, which I like? And when I saw them, I said, these books deserve to be discussed together because they are interlinked.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, firstly for inviting me to the popular Vice Chancellor's high tea.
Yeah.
It is really a high tea. And I also want to thank you for welcoming me into this role, inducting me, orientating me patiently, encouraging me, and reminding me that I've got what it takes to carry out this role. I honestly want to appreciate the fact that you've put me at the center this afternoon to share my journey through the books that we'll be talking about. What is it that has inspired me to write these books? VC, the plight of women is real. Women have to navigate through stereotypical views, non-diverse environments, harmful social norms that remind them every day that you are not good enough. And I felt that having traversed through such experiences is incumbent upon me to write books of this nature, to share my experiences and other women's experiences so that other women don't have to go through what we have gone through. Yes, we know there's still a lot of effort that needs to be made, but we believe knowledge is power, information is power. VC, there's a lack of theoretical, practical, empirical, context-specific information on women and their experiences. Most often, women's voices are muted, they are overlooked, undermined, and understudied. So these books are a mechanism to expand the voice of women, to have their voices heard and heeded, and to say your voice is valuable. It needs to be shared to empower others. And again, VC, the books are aimed at empowering the next generation of academics in order to take the knowledge enterprise forward. Thank you.
Wow, a warm round of applause. Now, Prof, let's talk about the early struggles that you have encountered as a researcher and as an academic, and how did you navigate those for those that are here who are looking up to you as they should, and who say, you know what, this may be the end. How can we inspire them?
I had many struggles. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't even know that I had potential.
Wow.
I had to be told that, yes, you can. I struggled as a researcher not having grant application skills, not knowing what types of funding mechanisms are there, where do I begin, not having a profile even to attract external funding. I didn't have networks, I didn't have partnerships, I didn't have collaborations, which are very much important for visibility of one's work and also for creation of a sense of belonging. VC, my self-concept was very weak. Growing up in a village with limited exposure, I didn't see myself as the kind of person that can pursue, for example, a scientific career. I grew up in circumstances where the prospects of following academia, let alone becoming an epidemiologist, seemed totally not possible. But I was along the way, encouraged with all those limitations, and I can go on and on. I didn't have publications. When I began, my first paper was torn by myself into pieces, thrown into the bin, never to be forgotten. Because the kind of review comments that I got made me realize that I am far from it. But through the support of mentors,
Yeah.
remarkable men and women of value, substance, and stature, who saw the potential that I didn't know I have in me and surrounded me and supported me, guided me, opened opportunities, put me within their networks, made me to work under them for research projects in order to gain experiential learning. And also the exposure that provided, like seeing some of the people that looked like me really leading in research, made me to realize that if they can, I also can.
Wow, that's amazing. Prof, we'll talk about mentorship. I know you're passionate about mentorship, but let's talk about the importance of having networks, those connections, because we are not born with networks and all that. And I mean, you are the most networked woman I know, not only in South Africa, but on the continent and abroad, So how does one go about, building those networks or conducting himself or herself? Because we don't only speak to women, but we also speak to men. And I'm so glad that there are men present here, to learn, from it. How does one build those networks? How does one carry himself or herself, in such a way that other networked people, would readily say, come, this is the direction that we are taking, join us.
Thank you very much, VC. Firstly, you need to know what you want.
Wow.
And then identify the people that have mutual interest.
Yeah.
But that alone, VC, can't sustain you in building sustainable networks, because it's not about overnight networks that today they are here, tomorrow they are gone. What helps in sustaining networks and attracting potential funders, potential networks towards you, because they can be in the form of funders, they can be in the form of research collaborators, they can be in the form of science structures and so on. It is the qualities that you possess as a person. Humility, teachable spirit. I told the VC the other day that VC, when you ask of anything from me, I shouldn't give you excuses. I learned it the hard way early in my career. I've always been committed in doing my work. And I remember my first professor once asked me, how busy are you? And I said, I'm very busy. And I actually was very busy. I had students lined up, and I really needed to serve the students and do my work. And for almost 2 weeks, my professor could not look me in the eye. And I wondered, what the hell have I done? And I was afraid to approach her. Then I spoke to another colleague, and I told her that I don't know what happened. She said, there must be something that you have done. And upon conversing deeper, she then discovered that I had actually told my boss that I'm busy.
Wow.
And what I learned from that experience is that I should have cancelled all those appointments, not because I don't respect people. My line manager is my immediate line of support. And I am there to support him in carrying out the shared vision. And what is it that I can be so busy about to tell that very person that, look, I'm busy. So those things are not written in any book. And I learned for myself that when your line manager says, jump, you must just say, how high? And that is not oppression. That is not gender inequality, but it's about understanding and knowing your role. It's about giving respect to your leadership. And most of the time, and I'm saying this because I'm speaking to women here, and some of the women said, we are here to hear from you. When you want to rise to senior leadership, have a teachable spirit, have a humble spirit, be prepared to get your hands dirty, respect leadership, and respect goes a long way. Know your boundaries. Understand even when to correct your boss, you have to have a sincere relationship, and at times you will correct your boss. Do it with sincerity and with respect, and they will know that you mean what you are saying. So VC, I can talk about a range of leadership qualities that you need to display in order to rise to a higher level, being empathetic, listening to others, taking in advice, learning from your mistakes, but never become a superhero, never become a queen bee, never become an untouchable. Always be willing to learn. I always say learning is ongoing. The moment you cease to learn, you cease to grow. And over the last 2.5 months, VC, one of the greatest things that I have done here in Madibe is learning. And how nice it is that the one person that I have mostly learned from is you, the Vice Chancellor.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Prof, I have this question. Working smarter or working hard?
VC, wow. I would say both.
Yeah.
And there's a time to really spend bend the midnight oil.
Yes.
So that you can intensify your insights. So that tomorrow what you were learning today is a stepping stone, so you don't have to be learning what you did yesterday. So there's a time to take in a lot more, to work harder a lot more, because learning is ongoing, but you, as an emerging researcher, you're still learning to establish networks.
Yeah.
You're still learning to establish collaborations.
Yeah.
You're still learning to write proposals.
Yeah.
You're learning to write papers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of learning that is happening. So you work harder, and over time, because you have invested yourself, you then start working smarter.
Wow.
Drawing from your past knowledge and experiences, and working smarter and smarter.
Prof, you are not just a leading academic, a solid, supervisor, solid researcher, but you are also an academic leader. And Prof, I can tell you, people make a mistake of thinking being a professor automatically makes you an academic leader. And that is where things go wrong. But you profess, you lead. Now, my question is, and it's something I'm struggling with, are leaders born or are leaders made, in your humble opinion?
Oh gosh, VC.
Just to hear your views, I'm still struggling with that question. Sometimes I wake up and say, this is something that people are born with. And there are days when I think, but if you are teachable, like you say, you can emerge.
Yeah. VC, firstly, I believe that each one of us is born with potential, God-given potential. However, potential does not just mushroom. Potential needs to be exploited. And how does potential get exploited? You allow yourself to be made.
That's right,
You allow yourself to be made, to be built, to be supported, to learn. I believe, VC, that you may have the potential to become a leader, but without guidance, without support, without surrounding yourself with resourceful people, without a teachable spirit, humility, without acknowledging the fact that you don't know it all, without acknowledging that you need other people as much as they need you. That team's work spirit, without respecting the fact that other people also have brains in their head, and that nobody is just carrying a skull, there's brain in there. If you don't acknowledge that, according to me, you are dwarfing your potential for leadership. Because I always say leadership is multiplication of your limited strengths, because they are limited. I don't have it all, with the strengths of others.
Looking at you, Prof, and how you do things, I'm convinced that you are one of those individuals who believe in this saying that we rise by lifting others. What is the formula in your experience, for a successful mentor-mentee relationship? I see a number of students here, colleagues who may be hungry for mentorship, and what advice would you give to them?
Yeah. Thank you very much, VC, for that question. I love it. Mentorship is not a one-way street. It takes both the mentor, somebody who's knowledgeable, who has walked the path before you or as a mentee, and an emerging person who has a dream of becoming a something, who is determined to become the best that they can be, who comes and associate themselves with you, or you approach them because you see that there's potential there. It takes two to tangle. VC, it may sound very rude to say some people have made themselves not mentorable.
Wow.
Because a mentor is not going to go about looking for the mentee, wondering if the mentee wants to really pursue what they want to pursue, wondering whether the mentee is really committed to the goal that has been set they have set for themselves actually to achieve through your support. So basically, as a mentee, and my mentees indeed are here, and you can see them.
They came full force,
They are not fixed in one place.
No.
They are progressing in their careers. They are having it tough, but then I encourage them.
Wonderful.
They go and figure out things and come and ask, is this okay? They proactively engage with me. They work very hard. They are visionaries themselves. And what does that do to me? Why do I enjoy them so much? It's because they keep my youthfulness. They keep my brain fresh. They challenge me with technology, with new developments that they would know better than me about. They ask me questions that I never thought of. They made me bring out the insights that I've gained in my discipline.
It shows that mentorship is not a one-way traffic. It goes both ways. I mean, a mentor can learn from a mentee as well. You can be mentored by your mentee,
Absolutely.
In terms of other things. I mean, I see a WhatsApp with bold. I struggle. I can't remember how you do it, but I know when I need to do it, I'll ask, how do you make, on a WhatsApp you can underline? And I'm like, how do you do this? You also need to be humble as a mentor, right? To say, I don't know, how do you do this? And then we grow and we learn. Another important thing, especially for women, in the labor market, in academia, that I find quite challenging, and in general in life, is the work-life balance. It's something that many of us struggle with, It's something that I haven't mastered. I won't lie to you, and I need to and fast. But it's even worse for women. I know you are a family woman, and still you achieve. What advice would you provide today in terms of the work-life balance to those that are struggling with that part of life, and those that will struggle with it at some point in their life?
Thank you very much, VC, for that wonderful question. Work-life balance. Challenges are real. And VC, I want to reiterate what you've said in my own ways, and it's written in the book also, that women have to juggle various roles and responsibilities of being mothers, wives, aunties, and also having a workload, that they have to carry, and social and community responsibilities. Those that are performed by women weekend after weekend. It's not a child's play.
Yeah.
VC, there was a point in my life, and it's written in the Navigating Academia book, where I wanted to quit. It is real that at some point in your life you'll feel like quitting. So that is not a problem. You will feel that way sometimes, but the problem is if you quit. So you can feel like quitting, but never quit. Because of the responsibilities that come with being a woman and all that. How do you strike that balance? Again,
that's the question.
Yeah, it boils down to the question of leadership.
Yeah.
Seek to build sincere relationships, especially in the workplace. Let your manager learn to take you seriously. And I'm saying learn deliberately, because when managers work with employees, it is how you as an employee conduct yourself that is going to determine how your manager handles you or works with you. In other words, if I'm being honest and I really feel like sleeping because my child was sick the whole night, I shouldn't lie and find something. I should just be honest to say, actually, I just need to sleep because I'm going to be useless if I come to work. Be honest and sincere. In the same vein, be honest and sincere when you are on duty. Don't be the kind of woman that would arrive at work and be gossiping all around, moving office to office, instead of paying attention to work. When assigned duties, take them wholeheartedly. Demonstrate that you are willing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make them see that, this is my best shot. And be willing to learn and listen carefully when they advise you. And in that manner, you develop a solid relationship. VC, I remember one time I called my CEO and said, I'm resigning. And I really, really didn't think that there will be anything that my line manager, my CEO, would say. I felt that my baby was 6 months old, in Cape Town, traffic, this job. And I said, it's okay. But I thought, let me phone you. That step of phoning him, and not of him, not of her just receiving my resignation, saved me in the scientific career.
Wow.
Because she said, hang on, you are not going anywhere. Long story short, I was allowed to work from home for quite a substantive amount of time. And there were a lot of noises that, this is preferential treatment, this is favoritism, but my line manager knew where I was coming from, and she knew that she didn't want to lose me. And then I was able to continue working from home. And I'm not saying working from home is the formula. We have to be visible in our workplaces. We have to be engaged. We have to build relationship. We have to be around the people we serve with. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying there will be different needs at different times. But if you've built a solid relationship, a trustworthy relationship, a sincere relationship, it makes things easier to be listened to. If you're not respecting your performance contract, if you work only when you are being watched, if you don't conduct yourself responsibly overall, if you are not a person of integrity, should you have a challenge, myself as a line manager, I'm going to have a problem. In coming forward and trusting you about you probably having to work from home, because I'm going to say, oh, that one, she's she's not gonna work, she's not gonna do the work, or she's going to cut corners, or so you build confidence, with your line manager, with colleagues around you, so that they know you are a person of integrity, you are dependable, you are reliable, you will deliver, you will not shift goalposts, you will not come with 1,000,001 stories, and there are people VC who are like that. So what I'm saying is, work-life challenges work-life balance challenges will always be there.
Right.
But do yourself a favor, conduct yourself in a manner that when there is their hedge, you have support.
Amazing. Prof, you touched on a sensitive matter, and I'm glad you started it. The Queen Bee syndrome. Yeah. How does one deal with it? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, VC.
Right.
How nice it is that over the last few weeks that I've been here, you have called me to your office and said, Prof, you can do this job. Yeah. You've got what it takes. Yeah. And you reminded me, you've got this. Yeah. Prof, you've got awards, we have appointed the right person.
That's right.
Like, it's amazing when you hear a man speaks like that. Yeah. Can we just give him a round of applause? Listen, I'm not begging for any job. I already have the job. Yeah. It is not all about me. Yeah. I've got capable people. I see my senior directors here. Yeah. They surround me left, right, and center to deliver VC when you want performance-related feedback. Yeah. I'm not trying to massage your ego. Yeah. You know very well that that's exactly what you did. And the second thing that you did, you said, Prof. Refilwe, we need to take this university very far. Yeah. We should be remembered for what we have done. Right. And I've said this even in the respective faculties that I have visited and institutes that I have visited that work with a line manager who is a visionary. Where am I going with this? Yeah. You've asked me about the Queen Bee syndrome. In the same vein, VC, how painful it is that women would not fix each other's crowns. Yeah. They would choose to look at your weaknesses and elevate them instead of patting you on your shoulder for the little that you do. And I say the little because the universe is so vast. And I think the first mistake that we often make is to think that I'm the be-all and everything, I am at the center of all that is. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in my life is how much I do not know. The more I've learned, the more I've realized how limited I am. I've sometimes thought I've overcome certain battles, certain weaknesses, but then I see them resurfacing and I realize that I'm a continuous work in progress. Right. And because of that understanding, it is my prayer, because I'm human, I make mistakes, but it is always my prayer that I should touch the lives of others in a way that builds. You like the word build, like we are here to build. It is my prayer. Whether I'm angry, whether I am sad, depressed, or what, it is my prayer that if I speak to a person, if they've made a mistake, if they could have done better, if they are taking advantage of me, that I should speak to them in a way that inspires them to do better. Wow. So it's unfortunate, VC, that as a woman, you become the pull-down syndrome for fellow women. Women are already exposed to a lot of challenges. 2 out of every 3 women have a low self-esteem. Because of socialization, patriarchal tendencies, systemic barriers, you know, there's just a lot around us. Even in our development, biologically, there's so much that we become shy about, and sometimes we never outgrow that, you know, and the belief that the place of the woman is in the kitchen, you know, and all the pull-down syndromes. How I wish as women we do not become part of those failure tapes, but we actually seek to hold other women by the hand and tell them, yes, you can. I have been there. Yeah. Look at me. You know, instead of pretending to be self-righteous. No one is righteous. We all have made terrible mistakes. But the choice is to learn from those mistakes. And I'm hoping, VC, that every woman sitting in here, and every man, because this is a human characteristic, seeking to build rather than seeking to destroy. Going to the person if they've done something to you or you don't understand what they did, and speaking to them with sincerity.
Wow.
Yeah, versus downplaying them, looking down upon what they are doing. The manner you look at them, intimidating them to even finish a sentence. And where you pass, it's like there's a tsunami that has just gone past. You know, with all your talent, giftedness, if you are like that, you will not attract anyone. Yeah. People will see you there and run away. You'll become an ivory tower. And what good does knowledge do if it doesn't serve others?
And in the interest of full disclosure, you and I are royalty. You are the Queen Mother, Obahima Cherede, yes. And I'm Nana for Woma II at the Abiaje Traditional Kingdom. So shout out to His Royal Highness Dasebre Ewusi Kwebu Ewusi the Seventh for this vision, you know, visionary leadership. I mean, academia and traditional leadership coming together. How powerful can it be? Any thoughts about the importance of this? Because we talk a lot about this, that the future is in combining academia and traditional leadership. Somebody said, no, the two cannot mix. And I say, I don't know what planet you are living in. The two can work. We are a perfect example. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, thank you, VC, for that question. Yeah. And yes, you are my royal brother.
Yes, yes.
And this honor has got, it's absolutely about saving society. And we are very honored, humbled that we can serve in this particular role. VC, traditional leadership is the kind of leadership that is closest to the people.
That's right, yeah.
And a lot of what would require effort on an ordinary person becomes simply resolved because people trust their traditional leaders. Right. People cannot disrespect their traditional leaders. So essentially, VC, it is my firm belief that if you want to achieve sustainable societal impact,
that's right,
you need to work with traditional leadership. Wow. Because they will carry forward the work that you do long after you are gone. Yeah. These are the people that will guide their people on the ground. These are the people that will ensure moral regeneration.
That's right. Yeah.
These are the people that ensure development in their surroundings.
That's right.
And us as academics, we go there for just a little while and come back.
Wow.
And leaving the communities down on the ground. Who cares for those communities, for those villages when you are gone? It is the traditional leadership.
That's right.
So you and I have been so blessed that besides being academics, we've been given the privilege actually to get closest to the people.
Right.
Because when we are in the Abiase kingdom, we are the mother and father of the people in
That's
the Abiase
right.
kingdom.
That's
Our voices are elevated to
Yeah.
also give instruction about sustainable development
That's
strategic
right.
plan 2035 to say we want to drive African Pan-African partnerships. Failures are a reminder of where you have been
Right.
and the lessons that you have learned. So I don't take them negatively. And that is why when I have successes, I celebrate them. Because my failures are not necessarily things that have worked against me. They've actually made me a better person. Surround yourself with people that are not going to be passively aggressive towards you, that are not going to be telling you negative things, especially when you are going through a difficult period. But I'll say all the time, avoid getting closer to people that are going to pull you down. Because people that are supportive, they are going to tell you you'll get over it. It's only a season. Life has its ups and downs.
Right.
This will not last forever, and that's all what you need. You know, they won't necessarily build your self-concept overnight, but every positive sentiment that gets to be made, much as at the time you may not appreciate it because you are overwhelmed, over time you're gonna see that it has built your confidence better, and it has helped you to focus on the problem at hand. I'm going to this particular question, align it with my belief as a Christian. You know, I believe that God has created me, and that He has endowed in me lots of treasures, gifts and talents, you know. And so when I'm in a particular position, number one, I'm so grateful because I can't really beat my chest that I have single-handedly achieved this. I know there's a power behind that has helped me to be where I'm at. And when I am in that position, I think it would be a disgrace to my God, who has given me talents, not to appreciate it unashamedly. I have to celebrate it, and it is moments like those that actually carry you through when the going gets tough. Because you remember yesterday how He brought you, you know, from a terrible space to another, to a glorious space. So mental health is very important. And understanding the fact that you are not an empty vessel, and that you are rich, you are full of dignity, which is why how you carry yourself and how you treat others must display that. And so you have no reason to be ashamed that you are the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the mighty University of Johannesburg.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
When I refer to women in the book, I refer to all women. Women have intersectional identities. Women are not just one particular group of people. Women belong to different echelons in society. Women belong to different cultural groups in society, racial groups, age groups, disciplines, and social and sexual identities. My duty in writing this book was to say everyone, to ensure that everyone who is a woman is included. No woman is excluded, no matter what the status or how you define yourself. Every woman is taken into consideration. I need to acknowledge the fact that although the challenges of gender equality persist, there has been efforts and interventions that have been mounted towards addressing women issues. However, we need more participation, consultations, and involvement for them to become effective, because even if they are there, like we celebrate Women's Day, we have webinars that talk to women issues, a range of initiatives that have been put in place, including policies, but we don't really know exactly how to mainstream gender in our institution. We don't, institutions or societies, and that does not bring the kind of outcomes that we need. So it's work in progress. We need to keep on building, keep on inspiring, keep on having conversations of this nature, and that's why I appreciate what the VC has done. I know that this afternoon conversation might be usual for other people, but there can be just one person who's gonna live here with a different mindset, with more hope, with more. So we have to have more engagements of this nature. We've got to make women that are successful more visible, so that other women can be encouraged. So we can never say the efforts are enough. We have to keep on doing that until we achieve gender equality, for what it is. Funding actually is an issue across the board. One cannot say, there are programs that are well funded. The funding landscape is very complex, but we ought to be grateful that we have the Ministry of Women in the presidency. I think that is to communicate the commitment of the state towards issues of women. There's a room for improvement, but my advice would be that if each and every woman can perceive themselves as a resource, there's a lot we can do which no money can buy. Not folding our arms and waiting for handouts to have to do certain things, starting with our surroundings, our villages, our families. I always say, when one woman does something impactful, all women actually get elevated. It's not about you, like understanding the fact that being a deputy vice chancellor at UJ is not about Refilwe. I'm a vessel, I represent other people, I'm an ambassador, and putting your resourcefulness forward, it will not be without fault. So all I'm saying is, I'm not looking down upon your question. We have to continue leveraging resources, towards the advancement of the cause of gender equality, but we also have a lot within us that we can do.
Prof, I want to give you, 15 seconds for just your closing remarks, then I'll acknowledge people, then we close this. I wish we had the whole day, that we don't, unfortunately.
Yes.
Over to you, Prof.
Yeah. Thank you very much, VC, for the wonderful opportunity that you've given me to share myself especially as I assume my new role. At least this has given colleagues an insight of the kind of person that I am.
Yeah.
And this super precious tea with the Vice Chancellor.
Yeah.
What a wonderful concept. Thank you for bringing me on board. VC, can I just say that the NRF board members joined us here.
Wow.
One from Malema Atenis, she's a board member of the NRF,
Wow.
and one, Dr. Muchekwana, she's also an NRF board
welcome.
member. So we have the National Research Foundation in the house, and I just wanted to thank them for support.
Wow. 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 Thank you very much, Prof. I'm a tea man, I'm a tea lover. So I sample all these teas. This is Indian passion. Wow. It's mango, passion fruit, green tea. Have you heard of such tea?
No.
It's just amazing. Believe you me. Take it from me. Yeah. And it's from Lakshmi Estates in India. Wow. Sponsored by Lakshmi Teas in India. And for that, I'm grateful for my good friend, Mr. Rudra Chatterjee. So it will mean a lot if you were to accept this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Right, colleagues, this brings us to the end of this lovely engagement. What is left of me is to express our sincere appreciation to our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, Professor Refilwe Phaswana-Mafuya. Prof, thank you so much. Nana Obahima, thank you so much for agreeing to have a tea with us. I've learned so much. I'm inspired. And I have no doubt that our audience today, those that are physically present here and those that have joined us online, are equally inspired by the good work that you're doing. Please continue to create many more Professor Refilwe Phaswana-Mafuyas. Let them be better than you. Yes. And I know this is what you are aiming for. Last but not least, colleagues, allow me to thank our audience, you guys who are physically here, but also those that have joined us virtually. We appreciate your support. Please continue to support the high tea with the VC. We'll see each other again in April. Please watch this space for the next discussion. Your loyal support means a lot to us. And please tell others about the great work that is being done at the Great University of Johannesburg, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary. We have done so many amazing things and will continue to do that. You will think we are 100, but we are only 20. We are warming up, right? And we are going to continue to build. Colleagues, what is left of me now is to say tea is served. Thank you.